The Pelicans Blazers trade. The Blazers were actually the first team to like open up the trade deadline basically with that Rocco Powell trade to the Clippers that we'll get into more on Sunday. But Portland trades CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell, the 50-50-100, the greatest player of all time, for Josh Hart, Thomas Satoransky, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Didi Luzana, a 2020 second, protected first, and 2 seconds. And then it gets reported Larry Nance undergoing knee surgery, out for, I think they shut him down for the season. Is he only out for 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah. Not for the season.
All right. Yeah. So the reason we put this trade in here is because CJ McCollum's still kind of a big name. I don't really think this crazily impacts either team. We could see that. I mean, the thing that this trade did tell us, though, is that the Blazers were moving off of everyone. To me, and it looks like they're doing what's like a retooling instead of like a complete rebuild, because they still have Damian Lillard on the squad. But honestly, like, I wouldn't even be surprised if like they like say like for the Warriors this year, like, I don't think we were totally expecting a guy like Jonathan Kuminga to fall to 7. And he did. The Thunder ended up going giddy. I feel like for the Blazers, let's say like a couple big names just somehow fall to their spot, and they're like, wait a second, maybe we don't want to trade these guys to bring in more talent for Dame, and then Dame might have to finally run from the grind.
Well, yeah, I think it's like you said, it's definitely a retool. Keeping Dame is, making that very apparent. I think what they'll do is look in the offseason to, maybe make some more trades, get more assets, and then try to, give one last effort of building around Dame and seeing if it works. And if not, I think by next trade deadline, or even if they can't make anything work in the offseason, I think we'll see Dame get traded.
I think you were saying though,
yeah, I think it's it's fair to say. You were saying though, I don't think this is big for either team. I think for New Orleans it's huge. Why? I think you because you have a team with, Devontae Graham's not the most consistent player. I know him and CJ honestly are pretty similar, style-wise. They're ball-dominant guys. You had Zion and Brandon Ingram, and you're adding a 20-point-per-game score. I know in the past, you can go to the receipts of the other episodes. I've been high on CJ. I'm going to, keep that same energy, and I think he is a vet who brings playoff experience, and he's still a bucket. I think he's going to help that team. He definitely won't hurt that team, I'll tell you that.
I think it's good for the Pelicans. New Orleans isn't really a free agent destiny right now, or a free agent spot for players to go to right now. And I think CJ McCollum being a star is beneficial for them, because now they have an improving Brandon Ingram, Zion, who is, I think he's done for the season, but he's still Zion. We've seen what Zion can do. So bringing CJ McCollum is like bringing another star into this organization. So when another free agency hits or trade deadline comes, some more players would maybe or potentially want to go to New Orleans to start something, to build like a playoff team. So I think it's I don't think it's like a huge thing for the Pelicans, but I think it's a step in the right direction for them going forward right now. So I do like that trade for them.
I think it shows that they're building around Zion, because that's also like kind of been rumored that Zion could potentially want out. He's been maybe rumored to New York. But them just adding CJ, like another potential star, perennial star, borderline, I guess.
Perennial? Man's pretty old already to be perennial.
He's a star. He's a star.
No, he's
not.
No, he's not.
Dude, how many All-Stars?
Borderline All-Star. At best.
That's lower than
so you don't think he's all right.
That's lower than All-Star.
He's not a borderline.
Anyways,
I'm saying at best.
I think adding him, I think he kind of stretches the floor to open it up for Zion. And they just kind of are showing that they want to build around Zion, and they're willing to make moves.
I think his veteran leadership is going to be huge as well.
That's a good point. I think the veteran leadership, you need like a vet in that locker room, because Zion's been acting up a little lately. But like Obi said, he makes a fair point. The Pelicans aren't a sexy trade destination spot. There aren't a sexy free agency destination spot that no one really wants to be in New Orleans, honestly. And they had to go get someone. I get that aspect. I feel like Zion's not even 21. Is Zion 21? Zion's not even 21, and he's already like
22, dude.
No, he's not, dude. He's not 22. Zion's like this, like he's. I think I'm gonna stand by. I don't think he's 21. Someone
he's
look
20. He is 21. He's
okay. So he's 21 years
old.
old.
I'm definitely older than Zion.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say I'm older than Zion, but he's a 21-year-old who's already saying like, look, if you guys don't like go all in for me, I'm already out. Like that's ridiculous that he's even doing that to begin with and putting like almost like a little figuratively gun to the Pelicans' head. But like I think that the approach here would have been to take the Memphis Grizzlies approach. The Memphis Grizzlies were like, you know what? Yeah, we're not a good trade destination, free agency destination team. Let's just build it up from the ground up with these picks. The Pelicans just gave up their pick to the Blazers in that trade that could even potentially convey in lottery. Like I wouldn't say this Pelicans team is for sure going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to be a play-in, and I don't know if they win the play-in. So that could still be a lottery pick. And if you like CJ McCollum, in my opinion, is going to add wins to that team. I just think it was a move that I would have rather seen them build from the younger guys in the draft rather than go after a guy who's not even a perennial all-star. So I think it was almost a Kings move.
I don't think for Portland though it was the worst trade either because they get that pick like you said. You were kind of hating on Alexander Walker, but I know he's a young piece at least, that is having a solid year that could develop into a good
dude. They already
traded
him.
That's right. You're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's on Utah now. But they have the pick still, from my understanding. Let me scrap that. I forgot about that other trade. Right but no, the pick could be huge. And like this draft is a good draft class. So that lottery
the Blazers
loaded.
They won the trade, in my opinion.
I think obviously it depends on who they draft and how that works out, but it works for both teams. And that pick could even be repurposed in another trade in the offseason, to make another move.
Yeah, I think the Blazers ideally what they're doing is that I think they're getting all these assets and freeing up cap space to either sign someone in free agency, which I don't think is going to be. I don't think the Portland's a sexy free agency destination. What I think could potentially happen is they could trade for someone in free agency. Now you have 2 stars on that team, and then maybe someone in free agency is like, oh, maybe I'll just go team up with these 2 guys. I get it, it's Portland, but we actually have a good shot if we have 2 stars. The problem is I don't know anyone who's available. Beal's going to be available, but I just feel like that's a slight upgrade from the Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum backcourt that we've already seen.
I think it's more than slight, but you think Beal's a little bit better than CJ?
No, I just think that backcourt already, the CJ Dame backcourt
you seem like dynamic wise.
Yeah, like I understand Beal's probably a 10 times better player than CJ is right now, but I just think that defensively Dame and CJ were just too bad. It just wouldn't work together, and I don't think Beal brings much of that back up to the.
Yeah. Plus, Beal's going to Boston, so.
And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Harden's going to be available." Oh, not anymore. He just we got to talk about that one still. But like, I feel like the best thing for these guys is if like they trade for Jeremy Grant. And they're able to do one.
I was really surprised he wasn't moved.
There's a couple guys who I'm surprised weren't moved, and we'll probably talk about that on Sunday. But like Jeremy Grant, Russell Westbrook, John Wall. There's another couple that I'm forgetting, but I mean, even maybe Alec Burks for the Knicks, but because I'm watching the Warriors Knicks right now. But yeah, I think that's what's going to be the what's going to happen for the Blazers. Keep your superstar in Dame. Show them that you're still trying. You get the Jeremy Grant, you resign maybe Nurkic, and you get one other piece. And I still think at max they're like a 5 seed, and that's even pushing it if everything goes right. So yeah, we'll see. I think they should just rebuild. But Jones, any last opinions on this specific trade, and then we'll move on to the Brooklyn one.
Yeah, you brought a good point. Just like Sacramento, not a big destination for free agents. So to get a star, you do either have to like hit the lottery in the draft and go that path, or like trade for one, just like we did with Sabonis. So yeah, if they want star power, then I think they had to like make the trade.